Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing a tutorial on how to load film onto a camera. And for many this might be a refresher course. I know for me that's the reason why I'm doing this video. I found that YouTube doesn't really have a lot of videos that go over how to load film. And if they do, some of them can be a little sketchy. No offense to anyone out there who's made one. But I just want to make this as easy and as simple as possible to anyone who's maybe new to this or is just trying to refresh their mind on this. So for today I'm going to be using this Vivitar V3800N. And this was actually the first camera that I ever used during my first film class in school. A lot of schools or classes, they actually use similar cameras to this. They might not use the exact same one, but they use cameras that are similar. Maybe they might be Minoltas or Pentax cameras. There's a ton of different brands out there, but the bodies are almost the same as this one here. So this tutorial should definitely help anyone else who doesn't have a Vivitar. It doesn't have to be a Vivitar. So hopefully you guys will find this helpful, and we'll go ahead and get started on this now, okay? Alright, so first of all, before we start, guys, I do want to apologize for any noise that we might have in the background. I don't know what they're working on, but hopefully it's not too distracting from this. So anyway, before we do get started loading on the film, I think there are a couple terms that we need to get familiar with. So the first one here is going to be our film rewind knob, and so basically this is what's going to cause the film to be I guess rewounded back after we're done using it. But we're also going to use this same thing here. This is going to be so this is the crank, this is the knob. We're basically going to pull this up, and then once we pull this up, what's going to happen is the back of the camera is going to pop out, and that's where we're going to place our film. Okay, so that's one of the terms we need to know. The next, we're going to have our frame counter here, this little square here that tells you how many more frames you have left in your film. This is going to be important when loading the film because once we load it, we have to set that up to 0, which I'm going to show you guys how to do anyway. Excuse me. And then this one right here, this is our film advance lever. This is basically what's going to make our film run across to take on the next frame when you're taking pictures. So one thing to note is that you will not be able to press down your shutter button unless you do crank this every time after you do a film. So you hear that noise? That's the shutter. And then that right there means that you've already moved the film. We've already gone ahead and advanced the film onto the next frame. Okay, so those are the three that we need to be familiar with. Again, this is going to be the the film rewind knob or the film rewind crank. Both of these together. We have the film advance lever, and then we have our frame counter. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is there's this little part here. This one's the film rewind crank, I believe. Yeah, the film rewind crank. We're gonna take this out and we're gonna pull it up. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull the crank and the knob all together. We're gonna pull this up. Once we pull that up, voila! You guys saw how easy that was. The back of the camera opened. This is basically where we're going to be putting in our film. And so this side here is where our film's going to go. Once we put the film in and close the back, we're going to press the knob and the crank. We're going to take it down. And this here is what's going to hold our film in place basically the whole time. Okay. On this side over here, this part here has a couple of sprockets at the top. Sprocket holders, and so sprockets are basically the little holes that you have on the top and the bottom of the film. Those little holes need to be these things, the holders need to be inserted in the hole in the sprocket holes, excuse me, in order for the film to be steady. So that way when we do advance it, It's straight, it's not crooked, it's not wrinkled. You know, that would be the worst experience ever, but it's pretty easy, guys, so we're just going to go ahead and do that as well. So once we see all these things, it's going to make loading film so much easier. It should only take you maybe like 1 or 2 times before you actually get the hang of it. Maybe the first time might be easier as well. So hopefully we can go ahead and do that. So that's going to be it here, okay? So now we'll go ahead and move on into loading the film, all right? Alright guys, so with me today I have this roll of Ilford XP2 film. This film is actually pretty special. It's really cool. This is a black and white roll of film. However, it uses the same process as color film to develop, which means that you can actually take this to anywhere they develop film. I know there are maybe still some Walgreens and Rite Aids that do that. Sometimes you do have to ship them out, which kind of sucks because it takes longer to get your pictures back. But there are other stores locally that do develop film. And like I said, they should be able to develop this because it does use the same process to develop as color film. With all other black and white film, if you are doing black and white, I do recommend that you do it in a place where you have access to a lab, because that's going to obviously allow you to develop your roll of film. Each roll of film takes a different, or it has a different process to develop. It uses different chemicals, different timing. So unfortunately, you can't just use any black and white film and have that develop just anywhere, because you can imagine how long that would take if people actually did that out there. So please make sure you do have a lab available to you if you do use a special roll of black and white film. If not, this is definitely a great alternative. I've used it before and the pictures come out amazing. I will probably post them up after the video just so you guys can take a look at them. Anyways, you can use black and white, you can use color, and please note the ISO of your film, because this is going to be important once we actually place the film into the camera. You're going to set the ISO on the camera, and that's definitely important because you don't want to mess that up. So this is going to be our film here. It comes in a little tube, which is pretty neat. Okay, and so this is it. Alright, this one right here. So we're going to go ahead and take this and roll it up into, put it inside of our camera now. Okay? Alright guys, so we have our film here. We have our camera, so let's go ahead and do this. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to have to take the film, and right now it's upside down. So this little part that's sticking out, this is going to be facing downward. And you're going to just basically slide this into the camera. There's going to be a little denture here, at least there is in my camera, where this is going to fit perfectly. So we're basically going to put that in there. And just, again, make sure that your lever is pulled up here, this crank, so that way your film slides right in. Once you place the film in there, you do want to press this down, and this is basically going to be holding your film in place, okay? And then we're going to take this strip, we're going to pull it. This part is already being exposed to light, so obviously it's not going to work for anything, which is fine because we're not going to use it at all. But anyways, these are the sprocket holes here, okay? So these are the ones that we're gonna make sure fit into the little sprocket holders on the roller part here. But basically, you do want to make sure that your film is straight. Oh, sorry about that, guys. This table's a little unstable. Anyways, you do want to make sure that your film is straight when you're placing it in here. And then what we're going to do is this little folded part, we're actually going to just have it held by one of these. There's a couple of little lines here. They're like little separators, I guess. But we're just going to have it held there. That's going to make things so much easier when we're rolling our film. It's not going to be super easy to put in there, but it is going to be easy once we get it in. Sorry guys, it's taking a while. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm learning along with you guys. And this film's being a little tricky today. Alright, there we go. So we have that in. And we're just going to keep putting the shutter down. Just so that way our film is rolled on. And now this is what I was talking about, the counter. I don't know, I'm not sure if you guys can see it clear there. But we're going to have to get that down to, I believe, 0. Okay. So we're just going to keep rolling. And then we can go ahead and close this now, I believe. Alright. And you're all set. Actually, you're going to have to get it down to 1. Sorry, that was my mistake. But anyway, I have it down at 1 now. And so now we're ready to go ahead and take pictures and use this. Alright, and again, this is where your ISO becomes important. As you guys saw earlier, the ISO on this is 400. On my camera's already set to 400. I usually use 400 even when I'm doing digital. Unless, of course, you're in a dark place, you do have to go ahead and adjust that and change it. But that's it. I'm at 400 here. But just in case you need to know how to do that, this thing here, this is where you set the shutter speed. But anyways, you can go ahead and just pull this up, and then as you move it, you'll see your ISO start changing as well. Okay. And my camera here goes up to 3200. But you can go ahead and just set that up to whatever your ISO is. There is a way to change the ISO. Even if your film is 400, you can use 3200 on it. The only thing is you're going to have to compensate for the light. To be honest, I kind of forgot how to do that. So if this is your first time, just don't try it. Just go straight ahead and do with the ISO that you have. But for all you other people who are advanced in it, it's a pretty cool thing to do. But anyways, that's going to be it. So our film's rolled, and we're ready to go ahead and shoot. And again, guys, just a reminder, even when it's at 1, like I said, I would still probably just use that first shot as a test, just because sometimes even if it's at 1, half of the film might already be exposed, half of it might not. So, you know, if you're really expecting something out of that first shot, then you might not get it. Okay? And that's basically it for that, guys. If you do have any questions, please feel free to comment. And feel free to like the video, to share it if you'd like. But I hope this video was really easy and very instructional for anyone out there who's doing film, whether it's your first time or whether it's your gazillionth time and you're just trying to review. I hope this was very helpful to you guys, okay? So there you go. Have fun shooting, guys.